Okay. Hello. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone in the US, and to everybody else who is just tuning in Europe and other places here, which I know we have a lot of viewers from. I'm just going to host a different kind of special today for Thanksgiving. Dan is sick, so let's all hope that Dan gets healthy. You just have me today, for better or worse. But the good news is it's a bunch of recorded videos. It's not just me. So I will spoil and say I'm just drinking a white Monster as I run back and forth between my kitchen and cook some Thanksgiving meal. I hope everyone else is doing well. Anybody have any Thanksgiving plans? Put them in chat. Let us know. I hope you're all healthy and happy. And if you're having some time with family, I hope all of that goes well. But without further ado, today's special is some pre-recorded sessions with all of these, well, not all of, but a lot of solution architects in the energy domain here at AWS. So they each took some time to say what they were thankful for service-wise or a feature inside of a service. And we tried to aim for things that were not maybe thought of as much as others. So without further ado, let me get our first session up here and add it to the stream. And here goes. Oh, and this one I had no voice. So here we go.
Welcome, Scott. Happy Thanksgiving. What are you thankful for?
Happy Thanksgiving, Dan. Lee, thanks for having me, guys. There's just so much to be thankful for. First and foremost, I just want to say that I'm thankful for the Houston Astros winning the World Series last weekend. Was amazing. But seriously though, from an AWS perspective, one of the things I'm thankful for, I want to talk about the Instant Scheduler on AWS. It's one of the solutions. You can find it out there on the AWS website in the solutions library, and Instance Scheduler, just search for that. And so what this is going to do is to help control RDS and EC2 instance costs, right? So it gives you the flexibility to stop and start your instances based on, it could be just business hours, or maybe you just want to stop them for 3 months and not have to, remember to keep restopping the RDS instances. So if we take a look.
And you said you found this before you came to AWS? This was something you used all the time?
I think so. It was definitely years ago. I joined in 2019 and had used AWS a little bit before I came to AWS, and just building some websites and things like that. And, it was all my own money. So even saving $5 or $10 a month made a difference. So this was a great option to take control over how your instances stop and start when you're not going to be using them. So if we look on the solution page, you can see here it gives you just a brief explanation. How does it work? A little overview of the architecture. DynamoDB stores the configurations, so you can set up different configurations and say, I want all of these EC2 instances to use the Houston office hours schedule, for example, and I want these other RDS instances over here to just be stopped. I just want them to be stopped until I change it. And it's as simple as going into that resource and changing the tag. So it's pretty cool that way. You can see here on the solution page, Instance Scheduler on AWS. Right now it's at version 1.4.1, released this month. So they're continuing to make updates to it, improvements. And you look here, you can take a look at the CloudFormation template itself if you want to download it, or you can just go launch it in the AWS console. And there's quite a few different settings, but you can just accept the defaults for the most part. You can see it pre-populates this specific AWS instance scheduler, which is a publicly available template for CloudFormation. I'm going to just cancel this one because I already ran it. So I'm going to show you what it looks like, the resources that it creates. You can see this was all complete. And then it will give you a couple of different things, one of which is this configuration table, right? So this is the name of the DynamoDB table where you can go in and take a look at what the schedules are. And I'm going to do that just very quickly. But it's easy to set up, takes about 5 minutes or so for that CloudFormation template to run. Then you have a table in here. You can see the config table. And if you just go in here, take a look at what it's got set up right here. And then, basically from here, you can go into this table. I'm not going to do it now, but you can go in and just change the business hours. It starts with a UK office hours, and I just changed that to Houston. Then in your EC2 instances, you just go into there, tag those, and they'll stop and start when you tell them to. If you think about dev test environments, like I mentioned, rather than running 24/7, because AWS consumption-based resources charged when you use them. So instead of having them run 24/7, if you just run during business hours, right, that's much less than a 50% savings off your AWS bill. So I'm thankful for AWS being a place that is genuinely interested in putting things like this out there for free to help people use AWS to the best of their ability.
And save a bunch of money.
And save a bunch of money. That's right.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the first one. We have hopefully a nice tip for anybody who hasn't used that. It is genuinely very, very good and useful. Our next guest, let me cue it up here. And let's get going. Okay. We have Kyle now. So welcome, Kyle. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. You have a bit of a demo for us here, right?
Yeah, I'm excited to show something that I'm thankful for, which is the AWS AI services. So have you guys played around with these? It's a really nice way to do rapid prototyping, to test ideas, to use the kind of pre-trained models to help accelerate what we want to do in data science. Obviously, we can make custom models, and those might have a higher fidelity, but there's a value here in being able to do things quickly.
Yes.
So one of the problems that I was working on was looking at well pads and identifying well pads in West Texas. So it's kind of a remote sensing question of how would we use satellite images to find these things. And the use case is around observing change over time for environmental impact, but also looking at utilization and rig count. So we can get rig count numbers, but this helps us identify where things are actually happening. So what I've got is a dashboard here this is built in Plotly Dash. So we're looking at West Texas and the Permian Basin. And there are a lot of wells out in West Texas. Yeah.
Doesn't look like that many.
A lot of wells. But if we just zoom in, what we built is a very simple computer vision tool using Amazon Recognition to find well pads. So we trained this on a handful of images using custom labels here. Built this out, and then this is now accessible as an API. This part using recognition is really simple to use. You can get a visual interface that'll actually show you the different wells that you have and how well it's scoring. We actually trained this with only 20 images, which is a very small set for a computer vision problem. Yeah. And that was intentional, just to see if we could succeed and get some useful results with something that small.
What attributes is it looking for?
Yeah, so it is primarily looking at shape and color here, but with recognition, it doesn't tell you specifically what it's looking at. There's some value there. So let's take a look at this image here. I've got this running in a thing called App Runner, which is a way of hosting websites. We built this out using Plotly Dash, and then we can host it using App Runner. So you can see it's identified a number of the well pads here. It has some false positives, so it kind of thinks this whole section's a well pad. But it is showing that it's identifying things. And so this is the first pass of being able to understand where these things are and how we can use computer vision on a problem for remote sensing, which is not something that we often get to do. So let's take another kind of look at it. I can very simply run a number of iterations of this. This is, as an app, we can put an SSO on top of it. You can share it out with the data scientist or others that need to look at it. So
All with
Just
very
to run
minimal effort compared to
very little effort
model.
compared to like a full-on project. Now, it's not fully, I guess we'd say, production ready, and that's not the point, right? Often we're just looking at, can we solve a problem, and is this worth investing more time into? So it's a bit of a triage mechanism to see if this is showing promising results. And then now that we know it is able to identify well pads, now it makes sense to invest more time into getting a higher fidelity by training it with more images.
Right.
So
No,
all
that's
without having to write any code on the computer vision side, which is really exciting.
Very cool. Very cool. Oh, Kyle, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Take
You
care.
too. Take care.
I think my favorite part of this special so far is how my outfits keep changing. I think I wear the same shirt twice one time. Questionable. Anyways, some good comments in chat. I'll keep answering those as those come in. But let's get the third video queued up for you. And away we go. Okay, hi, Huberto. You're here to tell us about a particular feature many may not have and why you're thankful for it. So let's get going.
Awesome, guys. Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure.
Yeah, so, I wanted to share, one feature that I'm really thankful for. It is one that I see rarely being used, but it just takes a lot of undifferentiated heavy lifting from people who are building applications. And it has to do with DynamoDB. DynamoDB is our key value NoSQL database. It's fully serverless. And within Dynamo, when you create a table, you can specify one attribute to be an expiration time or a TTL for your items or records within DynamoDB. And it's really simple to set up. And basically what it will do for you is, once you hit that specific expiration date and time, DynamoDB automatically in the back end goes and deletes those records. Why is this helpful? It is helpful in different use cases. For example, if you are storing sensor data that you want expired, after 24 hours, if it is actually saving session state, right? When you have an application, you're working with the front end, or for example, you are protecting one of your API endpoints for mutating operations, right? Typically, you use a token in order to validate that. So you can store this in your DynamoDB table, right? Keep them there, but you also want to set an expression that you don't want this token to be valid forever, right? So all you do is once you store this token, for example, in the case of the token, and you set the expiration date, you as a builder, you don't have to think about the logic of going and finding these records and expiring them and having this happening in the background. DynamoDB will do this for you. So
very cool.
It's an excellent feature. And in addition to that, right, it's kind of baked into the system. So it's provided to our customers at no cost. So DynamoDB will do this, not using any of your write capacity for DynamoDB, right? As you set it up on the table. Yes.
Very cool.
So let me show you a little bit how easy this is, right? If you look at the AWS console here in DynamoDB, right? I'm going to take this session table. I'm going to enable this TTL. So go into the specific table. And what you would do as a user, if you're working through the console, is go to the Actions button and just click Enable TTL. Right. Once you do that, what you will have to provide is the name of the attribute, kind of the key that will serve as your TTL attribute. Right. So you can use something as simple as expiration, and after you do that, you enable it. So that's all it takes.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's
now
it.
It will be maintained itself entirely.
Exactly. What will happen in the back end is that DynamoDB will scan this again in the background without using your WCUs. It will ignore any item that does not have this attribute, and it will check those that have the attribute, and if they expire, then it will actually delete them from the table. In addition to that, this is actually integrated with DynamoDB streams. So if you want to have a specific logic, to do once you delete the record or once the system deletes the record, then you can catch it as well. So extremely helpful. and it's used in pretty much all applications. You always have to keep some state and being able
Oh
to
yeah.
compare it.
Yeah, no, very cool. And it's supremely easy. And the WCU aspect is even more appealing, I think. So
Yeah.
thank you for showing this. Hopefully somebody in chat here is going to notice this and be able to apply this right away, because it's pretty simple and very effective.
Very cool. Thank you very, very much, Roberto. Have a happy
Thank you, guys.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So yeah.
Bye.
Okay, I personally really like that one. I use TTL a lot, and it's very helpful and very effective for what he mentioned. So definitely encourage you to do that. Even just to tinker with it, to try, it takes like 30 seconds. Let me find our next one to queue up here. Here we go. All right. Got some more ML for you. Machine learning time. Okay, welcome, Kumar. You're here to give us a very cool demo, right?
That's right. That's right. Hey guys, good to be here on my favorite Twitch show.
Glad to have you.
Yeah, we're excited.
All right, I'm Kumar Lakshmipati. I'm a solutions architect. I'm based out of Houston, and yeah, you guys asked me for my favorite service, and here it is: Amazon SageMaker Canvas. What is it, you ask? It's our no-code, zero-code machine learning platform. So you have an idea, you're a manager, you have an idea, you have the data. Instead of trying to find the guy who knows Python, you can just come here, visual, point and click your way through trying to create a predictive model that can be used for regression, binary classification, and whatnot.
Which is
Here,
really
give you
cool.
a quick demo. Yeah. Sorry, Lee, you had any question?
No, this is just really cool. It's pretty neat. I'm excited to show it.
All right. So for this demo, we're going to use life expectancy data. This is from the WHO. It's on Kaggle, our favorite data source. I just downloaded the data. And basically, it has data for like 193 different countries based on, amount of schooling, the country's GDP, the number of years somebody lives in that country, life expectancy, and which is what we're going to try and predict, right? So this is the Canvas screen. It's a very simple screen. You have two things: you have models and you have data sets, right? Yep. So to import the data set, I just came here, clicked on the import button, and I imported life expectancy data that I downloaded from Kaggle. Once I have it, you can go to models. I'm going to create a new model. I just click here, LE2, let's say. I come here, I select the data set, in this case, it's life expectancy data. I select the data set.
Can you pick more than one data set when you're building a model?
You can actually combine data sets, yes. So in this case, I just have one, I picked it, and in the column to predict, I go here and I pick life expectancy, right? Which is what I want to try and do. It tells me it's a numeric prediction. You can also do binary classification. For example, I worked on finding exoplanets, so in outside star systems. So does this star system have an exoplanet? Yes, no. Binary classification, you can do that. So in this case, life expectancy, I come here and I click on the build, and boom, it's going to build it for you. I've already built it, so I'm just going to show what I have. Yep. In this case, I have the life expectancy. So I've selected my data set, I built it, and then now I can analyze it right here in this tab. It tells me, this is the income composition of resources is the most important feature, and then I can just predict it. So I come here, I click batch prediction or single prediction. I can type in the variables here for a single prediction. It's going to just tell me, this person will live for 75 years old or whatever, right?
And it picks the model to build on the back end for this here. So how's that done exactly?
That's exactly right. So behind the scenes, yes, you have written no code, but behind the scenes, it's generated a ton of code, right?
Yeah.
Hundreds of models. It tries out the different combinations. It uses our AutoML, and then it tunes the hyperparameters and picks the best one that performs, right? And that's the one it's presenting to you. And the big thing here, guys, is, yeah, this is great. You've built this model. Now what, right? What you can do is actually send your data science team the Jupyter notebooks that it's built, all right? Both in terms of filtering and cleaning the data, to candidate selection, model selection, right? All of that code you can send to your team, and then they can then tweak it, play with it, improve it, deploy it, right? And
That's really
boom,
cool.
something.
That's really cool. There's no
There's a big win here as you take a long pipeline of, wanting to do it, to getting the data, to clean the teams, to cleaning the data, to finding the team, to everything else, to a single point and click interface, which I think is really neat. So just my favorite service.
Yeah, there's no black box anymore with this. It's really nice that way.
That's right. That's right. So you as a manager, as a business owner, as a domain expert can treat it like a black box. But You can send it away, and then your data science team, it's not a black box because they can see the code that it generates.
No, that's awesome. Kumar, thank you very much. Really,
Thank you
really
very much.
cool.
Have a good Thanksgiving, Kumar.
You too, man. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Okay, cool. So I think that one's really neat. And that life expectancy set, like you mentioned, is on Kaggle if you want to just try it out yourself. Really easy to do that. Of course, there's other use cases, but pretty simple one to demonstrate and do on your own. So I recommend that. I'll take a sip of energy drink here because I I can smell the turkey. It's going. I'm looking forward to eating here soon. Our next up, it's the final one here. So it's the final video for the day from our energy solution architects. Not a service per se, but really important to drill in because I think, if I were to say something I was thankful for here, for all the continuous learning, we learn and be curious here at Amazon. This next one is a fantastic tool for that, and I'm a big fan of it. So let me get it added, and we'll get started. Okay, we have Haley with us now, who's going to tell us what she's thankful for. Hi, Haley.
Hi, everyone. My name is Haley Niven. I am a solutions architect in the energy business unit here at AWS. This year, I am thankful for our AWS Skill Builder. Skill Builder allows users to track their training and certifications with one easy dashboard. Just want to do a little walkthrough today. So from here, we can click our user menu. We can track our courses, our certifications, our partner trainings, and my favorite, which are the ramp-up guides.
Yeah, let's see what those are like here.
So our ramp-up guides really have two different flavors here. We have role-based as well as domain-based. So just depending your skill set and what you're trying to achieve here at AWS, you can select one that works best for you. So today I'd like to look at our Cloud Foundations guide. Just takes a second to load here. And from our Cloud Foundations guide, we can select, it has a pre-built training solution here. So depending what you're needing, if you're needing some classroom trainings, virtual trainings, labs, some self-paced exam guides as well. So from here, we'll just select which one makes sense.
And there's a bunch of these, right? Based on all these different topics and areas of the
There are, yeah. So I'm particularly focusing in my own career on the analytics track. So from here, we'll click maybe a self-paced guide. And right from here, we're able to launch into what that looks like. So for this lab, it's $29. But we have a few other options here.
And this will also help with certification. So there's places where you can go through a whole bunch of different types of courses and stuff for your certification.
Yeah, the prep paths.
Yeah, exactly. So this one in particular, so this is about cloud acquisition. It comes, as you see, in several different flavors of languages. This is free to enroll in. But Dan, just to circle back to that exam prep. So if we're looking to get our cloud practitioner certification, from here, we can just click the guide. Again, it will pop up a link and redirect us to a exam certification prep. And in this one case, it is free.
Yep, so it's pretty cool. There's a lot of different content on there. Really useful stuff. I use it myself. I make content for Skills Builder, and I also use it. It's a really good site. I agree, Haley. I think really important to call out how much is on here.
Yeah, I think what's great about Skill Builder is it doesn't matter if you are new to the cloud or you have 10 plus years experience. Skill Builder has skill sets from the most elementary to the most advanced.
And it's also learn at your own pace. It's really nice.
Yeah, love that.
Oh, it's definitely true. Anything else to show, or you think that's good? We just want people to get out there and start clicking.
Yeah, I think the best way to get started is just to get started, get clicking, find what you need. Certain materials are newer than the others, so just find the ones that work best for you.
That's cool. Thanks, Haley. You have a good Thanksgiving, all right?
Have a great
Thanks.
Thanksgiving, Haley.
Thanks, y'all too.
All right, and that is the special, a little shorter than usual. Let's hope that Dan gets well and feels good. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another show. We have received a couple comments in terms of they really enjoyed having the guests on last time, and they also want to see some more demos. So we're juggling which one that'll be. Feel free to let us know what you prefer. Otherwise, other than that, to everyone else here celebrating Thanksgiving, have a very nice Thanksgiving. Stay healthy, enjoy your time. That's about it. So with that, I'm going to wrap up and sign off and go eat turkey. That's what I'm looking forward to. All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Well, there's obviously other shows, but Dan and I will be back in 2 weeks. Take care.